One of the biggest topics at this year's media tour in Charlotte was about a driver who isn't even here. Danica Patrick is set to make her stock car debut this season among mixed reviews from her future competitors.
It does make it harder going back and forth between the cars, and especially taking a break. Like you said, it'll take some time.
And there they are, today of the 2010 U-Crops Monument Avenue 10K.
And the other half of your screen there, you see Jessica Smith, who is this year's Dash for the Cash contestant. She gets a 2.7-mile head start out near Commonwealth Avenue at the other half of this event. If she can beat the elites back here to the finish line at Monroe Park, she wins $2,500 courtesy of AT&T for the duration.
Certainly in the top 5-6 fastest times ever, but you're right, not a record, but he is going to be one happy camper to take this race.
Aline Rita, an Ethiopian by way of New York City, finished third in this race last year. He will win the 2010 U-Crops Monument Avenue 10K. While the entire Giants minor league organization is one of the best in baseball, three of the most talked about prospects are outfielders: Roger Kieschnick, Darren Ford, and Thomas Neal. Soon they will be patrolling the outfield in San Francisco. This year, they're scheduled to do it at the Diamond.
For whatever reason, they seem to work real well together. They're enormously talented.
While those three spent most of spring training with the big league club, they didn't usually get more than one at-bat per game, but the experience of being around big league players should prove invaluable to them in the future. In Scottsdale, Arizona, Lane Casadante, CBS 6 Sports.
William & Mary has the benefit of knowing that if they continue to win in the 1AA playoffs, the road to a national championship will go right through Zabel Stadium. However, the players and coaches will not take home field advantage for granted, especially facing an offense that is rarely seen across the country, the triple option of Georgia Southern.
It all just comes down to how you play the game. Obviously, preference would be to be at home, and I'm glad we are at home for our fans, for our players and all that. But, I don't think it's, by any stretch, by being at home guarantees us anything other than, more people in the stands than they do.
A win this Saturday for the Tribe will be their 12th straight at Zabel Stadium, and it will also mark the first time since the 92-93 season that William & Mary has had back-to-back 9-win campaigns. In Williamsburg with the Tribe, Sean Robertson, CBS 6 Sports. Quarterback consistency has not been the Redskins' strong suit since Daniel Snyder became owner in 1999. 15 different quarterbacks have played in the burgundy and gold since that time, but they believe they have hit the jackpot with the acquisition of Donovan McNabb.
I think what they've seen was a guy that just wants to work hard and wants to win, and just communicating with those guys. We all had that same attitude and mentality. They came out to Arizona.
I think there was more snow on the field than there was all over campus.
Richmond baseball coach Mark McQueen was looking forward to an improved Spider team to start his third season as manager. Instead, his team finally took the tarp off Pittfield earlier this week, and they've had to start their season without having one practice outdoors at home.
We should have been about 10 or 12 inter squads into our preseason practice right now. It was something I'd never been through before, and quite frankly, I had no idea how we were going to fare once we took off.
It's a problem facing athletic fields all over Central Virginia. In Henrico, just getting onto the fields can be a muddy challenge, and even then you find that home plate is still underwater. Standing water won't be gone quickly if the ground underneath is still frozen.
Until we get the soil temperatures up to where we need them to be to actually drain the moisture away, it's going to be an issue.
Any snow still remaining will have to melt on its own because removing it can do more harm than good. Most facilities will have to spend extra money on man-hours to repair the damage done by the snow, and that presents a problem for places like Belmont Golf Course. One of the busiest in the state, they have been closed for over 30 days since the beginning of December. Even in the winter, losing those customers affects the bottom line.
When you play 20, 30 players on a day like today, yeah, it's hard to cover your expenses.
It's late February, and the Spiders just finished beating George Washington at the Robins Center. Less than 24 hours later, they're back on the court, volunteering their time at the Special Olympics Basketball Clinic.
Our university is very involved in the Special Olympics, and our men's basketball program, myself and our coaches, we feel that it's very important for all of us to chip in and do whatever we can.
It's just a great cause. It's all fun just going into this, and
After falling behind Boise State 17-0 in the first quarter, the Virginia Tech Hokies were poised to make their greatest comeback ever under head coach Frank Beamer, riding the legs of running back Ryan Williams, who scored 3 total touchdowns, and the arm of quarterback Tyrod Taylor, who threw for 186 yards. The Hokies had a 4-point lead late in the game when Boise State came from behind and scored the final touchdown on this pass from Kellen Moore to Austin Pettis to win 33-30.
Disappointed that I give Boise State credit. The kids fought awfully hard to come back and we just didn't finish it off.
It was an opportunity missed, but I believe that we beat ourselves. It wasn't anything that they did to beat us. I strongly believe that. We just gotta correct those mistakes.
We started out the game terrible, and I wouldn't have been surprised if they would have blew us out the water. But we fought back, but it wasn't enough time.
The Hokies don't have much time to correct all those mistakes. They host James Madison this Saturday in Blacksburg, and Frank Beamer has now lost 7 of the 8 times when his team has played against an opponent ranked in the top 5. From FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland, Lane Casadante, CBS 6.
It's a Friday night tradition on CBS 6. You're watching Final Score Friday, brought to you by the Chevy Equinox and J. Sargent Reynolds Community College.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Week 8 of Final Score Friday. Very, very happy to have the cheerleaders from J.R. Tucker High with us here tonight. We're going to tell you how their Tigers made out in a few minutes and tell you more about this brand new Chevy Equinox that has joined us on the field this week from your heart of Central Virginia Chevy dealers. First, we need to get to our game of the week. The Tomato Bowl between Lee Davis and Patrick Henry has long been the unofficial championship of Hanover County, but tonight, Atlee and Hanover both came in ranked, each of them for the first time when they were meeting in this series, both hoping to get a step closer to locking up a playoff spot tonight. Sean Robertson is now live out in Hanover County to wrap up tonight's game of the week. Sean?
Lane, this rivalry has developed into one of the best in the Capital District. And tonight's matchup between Hanover and Atlee had Division V playoff implications written all over it. 2 days before Halloween, and the youngsters with their Halloween outfits on to see Hanover and Atlee go at it in this Capital District showdown. First quarter, the Hawks up 6-0 until Drew Ferguson of Atlee drops the magic bean in the corner of the end zone to R.J. Price for a 32-yard score. The Raiders will take an early 7-6 lead. However, on Hanover's next possession, Sam Rogers will match that score. Goes over the middle to Trey Faison for the 31-yard touchdown, part of a 20-0 Hawks run to lead 26-13 at the break. Third quarter, opening Raiders possession. Ferguson again going up top. R.J. Price gets behind the defense, uses a great stiff arm to create space. It takes a 64 yards for the touchdown. Raiders only down 26-20, but that will be as close as Atlee would get in the second half behind the running of Dean Cheatham. He accounted for the Hawks' 2 touchdowns in the final 24 minutes to include this 18-yarder to put the game on ice. Hanover improves to 8-0 on the season with a hard-fought 39-27 home win over Atlee.
Well, we made enough plays to win, but I tell you what, a lot of credit goes over to Atlee. They came out and played us as good as I've ever seen them play. There's no quitting those kids, and I thought we may have had them in the first half, but they came storming back.
And Lane, the beat just continues to go on and on for the Hawks, unbeaten at 8-0 with a hard-fought victory just a couple of hours ago here at Hanover County. Reporting live for Final Score Friday, Sean Robertson. We'll send it back to you.
All right, Sean, thanks very much. That was worthy of game of the week. 66 total points tonight between those two, and we're going to see them again for a couple of weeks of the playoffs. Clover Hill this week came about as close as you can get to finally knocking off LC Bird last week, but a missed extra point relegated them to second place in the district yet again. Next Saturday's spring game here in Blacksburg could go a long way towards determining Virginia Tech's starting lineup this fall, and it will hopefully give fans a chance to see just how far Darren Evans has come since his knee injury last year.
Yeah, Darren, he didn't get too much action today, but I think he's in good shape.
It's just going to be exciting to see him and Ryan back there.
Evans' backfield teammate Ryan Williams carried only 4 times in Wednesday's scrimmage and has seen very limited action this spring, partly because the coaching staff already knows what he can do, and partly because they don't want to see the same injury happen to him this spring. In Blacksburg, Lane Casadante, CBS 6 Sports.
Most of Mike London's first year here in Charlottesville as head coach of the Cavaliers, things have not gone according to plan. That could change this weekend when the Cavaliers look to do something that they have not done since 2003, and that's beat their arch rivals, Virginia Tech.
I guess this is kind of, you can say, kind of our bowl game. I mean, this is it for us, it for a lot of guys, for us. And we look forward to playing up in Blacksburg. And
a win for the Cavaliers this weekend will end a 6-year drought against the Hokies. It will also mark their first win in Blacksburg since 1998 and end a losing streak of 12 straight in the month of November. In Charlottesville with the Cavaliers, Sean Robertson, CBS 6 Sports.
Everybody knows about the Flying Squirrels, one of the most unique nicknames in all of minor league baseball. That's everybody in Richmond. But all the way out here at Giants training camp in Arizona, the players, who will be called Squirrels this summer, are excited about wearing this uniform.
That was an interesting choice, but, I saw the logo and it looks cool, so.
I think the team that looks good plays good. So I like them.
I think it's awesome. I mean, I like to have fun out there, and I hope we have a great mascot and the fans love it.
I like the uniform, I like the logo, so.
Would you mind being called a squirrel?
I wouldn't mind at all. Be an honor.
I think it's fun. I think it's fun for the fans, and I think anything that generates interest in getting guys out, getting people out to the park is always a good thing.
I've heard worse, so I mean it's not too bad at all. I mean I love the colors, and I'm sure at the end of the season they'll be saying the 2010 Eastern League champions, the Richmond Flying Squirrels.
And coming up in sports, we'll continue our profile of the players that will be calling the Diamond home and will be calling themselves Squirrels this summer. In Scottsdale, Arizona, Lane Casanante, CBS 6. Not only is this the highest-ranked team that the Hokies have faced all year, it is also the most complex offense. Stanford runs some 350 different plays and has used 27 players on that side of the ball.
It's always interesting coming into the Monday meeting and getting the install for this week or for the weeks during the season to see what the coaches have come up for us for whatever game plan it is.
We really feel that that's important just to get as many people involved as possible. I really think it builds upon itself.